Kevin. Let's see. Are we? Oh, and I'm just going to change my view as well. Otherwise, it's just going to be you in the picture, and that's not fair. There I am. Right. So, Kevin, thank you very much, and welcome to the show. How are you doing today, mate?
Afternoon, Phil, and thanks for inviting me, mate.
No, absolute pleasure. Like I say, we got meeting on a set, and we got talking, and I asked you for 3 of your films, and the films you gave me did not disappoint. In fact, 2 of them I've not seen in bloody ages, and I was really happy for you to suggest them as it goes. I don't know which one you'd like to start off with. So we've got Big Country, we've got Zulu, and we've got Bohemian Rhapsody. And which one would you like to start with? I mean, and what they mean to you? Oh man, Big Country. So
yeah.
Right, full disclosure for me, I've not seen that in quite a few years, and I started to watch a few clips of it the other night, and then end up watching the whole film because it is beautifully shot. It's colourful, and I mean, yeah. Rather than me telling you what I think about it, let's hear from you. Why did you select that one? What does it do for you?
Okay. Well, if you've recently watched it, then you've got an advantage on me. After you asked me, I thought, right, I need to watch it, but the time of the year and work at the moment, I've
Yeah,
been so busy, I haven't had a chance, which is really annoying.
no, it's okay. It's a long
But
old film. It's not a short one. It invites you in.
it does. It's I think it's about 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, yeah.
But the good thing is, it's one of those films you don't notice the time because it's such a great, well-written story.
Yes.
It brings you in. You get to learn all the characters, and you get to understand their stories. Now, I'm an old guy, believe it or not. I first saw this when I was a youngster,
Mm.
and when you look at this, it's a western,
Yeah,
but there's no Indians in it.
that's very
There's
true.
there's no cavalry in it. You know, it's a really, really good story. It's a fish out of water story for the
Hmm.
main man, Gregory Peck. And that character just inspired and impressed me as a kid, you know. Um,
How so?
I'm trying to think now because if I do remember, the actual opening of the movie is brilliant. When you're first introduced to him, he's dressed as what they call the dude. He's got a nice smart suit on, a bowler hat.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep.
and he steps off a stagecoach, and the first thing I remember from seeing it a couple of years ago was you've been really well introduced to a character by visual stimuli and not by being told who he is.
Yes, exactly.
He steps off a stage, he immediately turns round and assists a lady off. And he lets her go on her way. So you immediately see he's not actually with this person, he's being a gentleman.
Mm.
And then everybody in this town, in this 1880s Western town, who are dressed for that period, which you'd expect to see in the old Westerns, everybody's got their eyes on this guy, and he's just stood in the middle of the town. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. People are staring at him, going, "What the hell is this fancy dude doing here?" He's himself. He's his own person, and this is what you see about the guy all the way through the film.
Mm.
You know, he meets up with his fiancée, which is his reason for going to the big country,
Yep.
and they get into a horse-drawn buggy, and they go into the ranch. And this is the first indication that he meets the opposition to this feud in families. And these cowboys have a bit of fun. They throw his hat in the air, shooting at it. They rope him, and the fiance's going mad. And he's like, "They're just guys having a laugh, no harm's
Yeah.
done."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he takes it on the chin in good spirit. He doesn't want to create a conflict. He just goes with it, and by going with it, he's diffused any kind of a conflictual situation here. You know, the guys have had their fun, nothing's happened, they've gone, okay, let's just go.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. And that is absolutely brilliant to me.
I just think for me, rewatching it as well, I mean, there's something to be said. I love one of the first things that stuck with me when I started to watch it was I forgot how gorgeous they used to film things and how colourful things were, and
Yeah,
the blues of the sky, and the fact that Cary Grant for most of it wears white. He wears a lot of bright clothing, so he's sort of like
yeah,
really getting across very visually, like you say. He doesn't need anyone to say in dialogue, "Oh, there's that gentleman." He portrays it in his clothing choices. He's very pure, and I really respected that. Like, there's lots of like little visual cues without hammering you over the head with it. You're like, wow, this is someone. This is an aspirational character. This is literally the white guy again, the white clothed hero against the darker, duskier, dirtier clothed villains and stuff.
absolutely, yeah. And of course, he then meets his prospective father-in-law,
Yeah,
and of course, his fiance has already complained about what. Oh God, what's it? Is it Hennessy's?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no, I can't believe I remember that. Yeah, yeah. And so of course he's called the Major, isn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Hal, this is coming back really good. Thank you.
There you go. It's all right.
And I do remember his first conversation. I think it's his first conversation where the Major's going, right, I'm getting the lads together. We're going to go and sort them out for what they've done to you.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he says, "You're not doing this for me. You're doing this because you want to do it." You know, he's actually saying to the Major, this has got nothing to do with me. This is your feud, and you're now using this as an excuse.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
guys having a laugh. No harm was done. Let it go. But of course, the Major, he can't because they're stuck in their mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and this is a running theme throughout the movie where he won't be provoked by anyone to do what they want. You know, who is it? Charlton Heston plays the ranch hand.
Sorry to interject, but that was one of the things that really blew me away about the film. I forgot about Charlton Heston. A film so big that Charlton Heston only gets like a supporting role in it. He's not like the lead in it at all. It's
Absolutely,
mind blowing.
but I mean, it's a very good and very important role that he plays
Yes.
because he's in love with the Major's daughter, and this dude has come along, so he's doing his best to provoke him all the way through the movie.
Yep.
You know, and it's the one Old Thunder, the horse. You know, they all wanted to ride Old Thunder because they know this horse is just going to throw him.
Yes. Yes.
And he just says, "Sorry, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to play your game." And they all get disappointed and go. When the ranch foreman and the hands have gone out on the range, he goes to the stable hand and says, "Right, this is just between us."
Mm.
And then ensues, and it's a scene I can always remember. And you got to think, when this was shot, this is not CGI. This is the horse for real. They put a blanket on the horse, and the horse moves his head, grabs the blanket, and throws it off.
Yeah.
You know, I think he does it a couple of times, and then they have to work together to get it all on. And of course, with nobody watching and nobody knowing, he tames the horse. You know, he gets thrown so many times, but he tames the horse, and he's not doing it to prove anything to anybody else but himself.
Yes. I just I can see. I mean, I would love you like that character as well. Because watching it back yesterday or the other day for me was that there was the lack of ego in him, the
Yeah,
humility, the ability not to be pushed, and even towards the end. Spoilers if you haven't seen it, I would really recommend you go and see it. But the duel scene towards the end, which I'll try and not spoil. I mean, just even his actions in that, he goes on a journey, but he's very sure of himself, and it's like he doesn't have to adapt. In a way, it's something that you wouldn't really see too much in, or I don't see too much in cinema today, that the character pretty much is fully formed, but just how he affects the people around him as opposed to the situation affecting him. He is already like a completely formed human, but it's just
Yeah.
he's very aspirational and doesn't bend to the forces around him. He makes them conform to him. And it was just, yeah, and just a very old tale, but very well told. And as you've already said as well, it just flies along. I found it moves so quickly. Nothing feels over like extra to the plot. Everything has a purpose. Everyone is acting incredibly well, and it's beautifully shot as well. Timeless.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'd have to check to see when it was made. I mean, it's got to be 60s.
That's mad. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And as you've already said, the colour, the scope is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, don't forget it opens with that music score,
Yeah.
this, you know. But
It's
yeah, I mean,
so.
sorry,
So
go on.
no, sorry, I was going to say. So would you say that why that one stuck in your head? Was it just a mixture of all the things, or was it Gregory's character in particular, or was it lots of other things all added in? What may, or was it maybe because it was the first time you watched it and your age and stuff? It just the vastness of it and the beauty of it.
To be honest with you, the first time I watched it, it was Gregory Peck's character that
Yeah,
inspired me. You know, this is a bloke who knew himself.
yeah,
You know, he didn't feel he had to prove himself. It's like when Charlton Heston is stood there insulting him to his heart's content to try and provoke a reaction, to try and get a fight. And he actually gives him a speech. You're just doing this to get a fight because you think the girl will love you for it.
mm,
Sorry, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that. You know, I can't remember exactly what he says, but I do remember the following scene is with Gregory Peck and the girlfriend. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. It's been that long.
no, that's the one thing that's slipping my mind as well. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, yeah.
And she's actually upset that he wouldn't defend his own honour.
Yeah.
And he actually says to her, and it's something that always stuck in my mind, I'm not responsible for how other people think of me.
Yeah.
That's their problem, not mine. You know, and that was something as a kid that stuck in my head. Yeah,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be waylaid by what other people think of me. It's what I think of me, what matters.
That's super powerful. Exactly. And that's the response he takes throughout the film. He does him. He doesn't let anyone else tell him how he should behave. And
Yeah,
he does what's right by him and by the ones that he cares about. And just such a powerful statement and attitude and mindset to have that would be incredibly inspirational.
yeah, and ruin it for anybody who wants to watch it. Just before dawn, he goes and knocks on his door. Gregory Peck knocks on Charlton Heston's door and he says, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's go for it." And of course, he's done it when there's nobody else there,
Yes.
no one to see what's going to happen. And this is again, he doesn't feel he has to do something in front of people to prove his worth. So he calls him out, and they do have quite a long and epic fight, if I
It's
remember.
huge. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And neither of them will give up. Neither of them win the fight. And again, it's something else that stuck in my mind. At the end of it, when they both said, "Okay, we've had enough," Peck turns to him and he says, "What have you just proved?"
Mm.
You know, and he's absolutely right. What is it? What has hitting another person proved?
It's such a powerful script, and that's the thing that was really sticking with me as well, because I'd watched it a while ago myself, but just this Yeah, just having that sense of self. And I can see why it's so inspirational as well, because like you say, not giving into the ego, and like so many, it's such a common problem these days as well, always seeking affirmation from others, always needing that judgment from others or someone telling you you've done well. Whereas to be a complete and secure person, even though he's gone into a completely new environment and had to restart from you, knows himself enough going, I can be me in this situation. I don't have to allow others to dictate to me what I need to do to fit in. He's quite comfortable being himself and making others fit around him, not in an awkward way, not in an antagonistic way, quite the opposite,
That's
but
it.
he's just being himself.
Yeah. I
It's,
mean, he even tries to settle the feud between the warring families.
mhm.
He buys the Big Muddy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is the main point of contest between the two feuding families of getting the water rights for Big Muddy. He buys it and says anybody can come and help themselves to the water. There's no conditions, no, I'm going to favour you over you. You need to water your cattle, come along and water them. It's
And
free for everybody to use.
I don't want to go into it, but all I would say to anyone is like, for all the mini series and stuff that people are watching these days, and they're all valid and all great, but you could do a lot worse than settling down and setting aside a couple of hours or over a couple of hours of your life to watch what is it. I think the thing that really stuck with me the most was the length of it, but like as you said, it didn't feel long, but just the completeness of it. All
Yeah,
the characters felt real, all the story was told perfectly well, and not, like I say, that was the big thing. There was no fat on it. Everything felt like it had a point and a purpose, but it took its time. It didn't feel
yeah.
rushed either, nor did it feel overly long. It's a perfect bit of cinema making. So as far as first choices go, you can't do much better than that, mate, to be quite honest.
Thank you very much. So
So
yeah,
that
anybody, the
the
big
big country.
I've got it on DVD and I haven't watched it for a while. So guess what I'll be doing? Hopefully in the
I
some time.
always say to people as well, get it on DVD because you own it and you can share it and you can keep it forever. I'm very big on keeping physical technology, to be quite honest with you, even though it makes me a bit of a Luddite. I think it's nice to own something. As much as I enjoy streaming, I think it's good to physically have a copy because then it's yours and you can do what you want with it.
Yeah.
So what's next then, Zulu?
Funny enough, it's Zulu.
This is a
Yes,
back.
I've got it on DVD as well.
I've got it on DVD. I've got the one. I haven't got it up here, but it's just the red coat. It's just like a cover of the red coat. I think it was like, but it's the same. It's the same film. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's one in the sleeve.
one
Yeah,
of Michael Caine's like first big films, wasn't it? If I
it
remember
is.
right.
It is his first starring role,
Yeah.
and again, when you think of how beautifully The Big Country was shot,
Oh.
this has that same quality.
Mhm.
And the difference is, This is a British-made film,
Yeah.
made by and starring Sir Stanley Baker,
That was the name. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and this is one of these things. This is now actually little sidetrack here. This is now a tradition of mine. Being slightly older than you, I grew up in a time when every Christmas we would all wait for the Christmas list for all three TV channels we had back in those
Yeah.
days.
No, I remember the free TV channels, mate.
You know, and two films that always came on every Christmas:
Yeah.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Zulu.
Wait, Zulu is not a Christmas film, is it? I don't
It's
know.
not a Christmas film, but of course, with being a British film,
Yeah.
it came on every year. Now, living in a house back in the 70s, which had one TV,
Yeah.
um, and being just a youngster, I used to lose the argument of what we got to watch, and I hardly ever got to see this film at Christmas.
Oh,
And if I did, I'd only see a bit of it because then we had
getting
to have
turned.
another channel because something else. And then as I grew up in my 20s, this thing called video came along.
Oh yeah.
And I remember buying a video player and one day spotting this film on video.
Wow.
And I thought, this thing just went off in my head. I'm having that and I'm not going to watch it till Christmas. And of course, video became DVD. So that's the same thing. So I watch this on Boxing Day every year.
Amazing.
That is my tradition. Okay, so this is one of those things. Now, this again is it's we have to say it's based on
Yeah.
true events. The attack at Rorke's Drift by the Zulus on the British troops. Although I say based, it's very well based. There's only a few minor details like where they filmed it. It was very hilly where they filmed it, whereas Rorke's Drift was a very flat land.
Okay.
And they of course, to make it into an enjoyable movie, they had the two lieutenants at loggerheads with each other, when in reality they worked very well together back at the time. But of course, it's TV, you have to have a bit of conflict. And everybody's favourite character when they watched this is Private Hook, who, as Michael Caine described as a barrackroom lawyer and a layabout. Private Hook was actually a chef in the hospital.
Oh, wow.
In reality, and he was a very stoic and very upright person, and very, very queen and country, as it was queen at the time. So they played about with the characters a little bit to make it exciting for us. But again, if you look at the colour, the scope, and the cinematography of this film, it is absolutely awesome.
It's stunning. The color. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry, go on. Please keep going. I don't want to interrupt.
No, please interrupt.
No, I would say the one that I've not actually watched this in a while, and I think now they would, in today's mindset, and I think rightly so in a lot of ways, they would do more to humanize why the Zulu tribes were attacking, and there's a slightly more nuanced political thing going on there now, but the actual like nexus of the story about these people facing overwhelming odds and very probably certain death, but again that heroic stance of, even if the forces being marshaled against you might be being too great, just having that resolve, that inner resolve to stand up against them. Again, it's another powerful figure. It's another powerful message about having that ability to in oneself and determination to, well, if I've got to go out, I've got to go out fighting, but not giving up hope and having that sense of resolve, and against, like I say, an incredible force against you.
Absolutely, and there are some very, very good lines in this as well, which bring home what you're facing. I mean, Michael Caine starts off his character as a little bit chippy towards Stanley Baker's Hateford, it's in the family. I can lead the men up into the woods to take a dozen people. We'll sort these damn levies out. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
And as the action is taking place, he becomes scared. He becomes nervous, and he even admits, he wishes he wasn't here now. But again, they all come through this ordeal. Oh, another thing I need to point out, Chapman's role in this as priest. The truth was, the priest at the time stayed with the men all the way through and fought alongside them.
Wow.
That's it. The missionaries stayed there and fought alongside the soldiers. They didn't get drunk and get sent off.
Crazy. Yeah, it was just like, even with those slight changes in the between truth and fiction, though, it's like the powerful message. I think also having that vulnerability to admit fear, but still because and that I don't know, that sense of brotherhood. I mean, you can see it from the Zulu side as well, that everyone's fighting together, that they're all sort of like backing each other up, you know, and that was the thing that really that is the one I need to watch again soon. But I was always, again, the colors, the cinematography, but just that sense of what do you do when the moment comes? Can you be held accountable? Will you, like, even, you know, having enough strength to admit fear and vulnerability, but at the same time going, but I've got to see this through. I've got to commit to the struggle, no matter what the end result will be.
Yeah, but interestingly, because the Victoria Cross was awarded to 13 of the defenders, and one thing the film does do is shows each of those men and how they were awarded it.
Yeah.
You know, the guys who were wounded and sat there, and his corporal says, "Come on." And they're dragging ammunition along the ground, wounded, and handing it to the men to keep fighting. You know, Hook in the hospital, even though he'd been portrayed a different way, the truth was he was defending the hospital in the fight.
Yeah.
And he stayed by himself fighting off Zulus whilst they were getting the patients out.
Yeah.
You know, so they did touch on how they all done it, what they done. And again, as well as it being, I'm not going to be patriotic, it's one of those few great British films that stood the test of time for me.
I just think, above all, like you say, you've got the nostalgia factor to it, the fact that it's so entwined with your childhood and wanting to see it. But yeah, I mean, if you, like I say, even if you are looking at it as a pure story and taking the politics out of it, it is beautifully shot, incredibly well told, and again, it's so epic in its nature. I think that a lot of the classic, well, they're classics for a reason. They just have that sense of scale and scope. And I don't know if the way it was filming back then, I think a big thing for me, and I don't know if you agree with this, is, you know, everything was done practically. There was no wire work. There was no CGI. If you're seeing a building getting like on fire and stuff, they're really setting that thing on fire. They're real horses running in front of the actors, and there's probably not too many retakes they're doing. So it's just that incredible, you are seeing a real event. It's like there's such a sense of spectacle and grandeur about it that I just don't think present day movies match as much.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. If they were to make a film like that now, they'd have a bunch of actors stood behind some sandbags, with a green screen, and they'd be going, "Oh, look," doing that, and then afterwards somebody would be digitally putting the cattle in. Past them. But, you know, no, you watch this film, that's really happened. You're really seeing that.
Yeah, no, and I get that, and this is not me rubbishing current cinema, because there are some things now that they can do with camera work that you couldn't do in the past, and it makes it more realistic. Because like there's a few like battle scenes and stuff I've seen recently in certain films. I'm like, it takes you so much inside the action that they just logistically couldn't have done it back in the day. But I don't know, there's something about those practical effects. There's something about, even though it's telling a story, so it's acting, it's a retelling, there's something so authentic in the fact, well, this was really being filmed, even if it's people recreating it, that's really happened. And it just, I don't know, it just, there's something that just really hooks me into it even more emotionally.
Well, yeah, I mean, this comes back to the big country.
Yes.
They were all riding horses, you know.
Yeah.
Even the lead actors, the person starring the film, was riding a live horse. You know.
You've got yeah. Yeah. I just think there's something in that. Like it makes the stars of the film even more star-like, because it's like they can do it all. They are really doing it all. It's just an incredible thing. Right, come on then, number 3, get it up. What's number?
Okay, right. Before I bring number 3 up,
go on.
Let's touch on the one film you thought I was going to bring up but didn't.
Yeah. Oh, Matilda.
And that film is Leon.
Yeah, that was my terrible genre Renault accent. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, no, we touched on that film because when we were on set together, I mentioned where I got the intensity for a part of a scene we done together.
Yes.
And that came from a fantastic Oscar-winning actor, Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And in this scene, he says two words. He says everyone or
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
But if can you bring that up?
If I can, I'll stick it up on the old YouTube one. But yeah, it's basically, yeah, the everybody, and he acts with such intensity in that film. He's having a good old time.
But I mean, he starts off with just talking on a walkie-talkie,
Mm.
and he turns quite matter-of-factly and speaks to somebody, and then he bursts out, and it's a complete camera change, a complete new setup.
Mm-hmm.
Say those two words, but there's power and there's intensity, and you get to see this physical change in a character.
Yes.
You know, and it's something that I brought to our scene with us when I'm saying to you, answer me.
Yes.
Now, I didn't do it the same way because you can't do it the same way. You've got to do it your own way.
Yeah.
Right. Jumping on. Leave you all hanging on that one now.
Oh, Kevin, let's go a little bit with this because we can always come back to the other film. I can always, but I would really like to. You've pulled on something there, and I'm going to have to keep pulling on this thread about what you're saying about. So what these things that I think it's wonderful that you look at other actors and you take what you want from them and take the intensity and the impression that they're giving, but at the same time you make it your own. I mean, was this one of the reasons you decided to pursue acting and make that career change, that these creative, the way that they were displaying emotion and stuff spoke to you? You thought, I've got to try that myself?
No, I've taken acting. It's something I've always wanted to do.
Mm.
And for people who don't act but enjoy watching telly, they think it's easy, and it's not.
No.
You know, every word's got to have a meaning. But no, since I've taken on acting, every time I watch something now, I'm watching it totally differently to how I used to watch it.
Yeah.
Or there's things I will spot and I'll see. And Leon is another one I've got on DVD. That's actually upstairs. And it's something you can pause, go back, have a look at what the actor was doing.
Mm.
And see how he changed. And when you see that change, I mean, he's playing a neurotic drug-taking cop who's at the end of his tether because this guy is going to bring him down.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I just remember seeing the way he changed and the way he said that. And when we work together, I'm hitting a point against your character, but I want you to respond, and you're not, because you're looking at a picture on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, and as I say, I don't want to. You can never copy somebody else. You can only ever be yourself and do it your way.
Yes.
You know, the moment you try and do what somebody else done, you're just impersonating them.
I also think this is one of the most beautiful things I find about working in film as well, that you get this impression that even if you've blocked everything out and you do exactly the same movements every single take and you end up doing 10 takes, even you doing that performance every times 10 times, there will be something unique in each and every take. There's that old saying that the same man never steps in the same stream twice, because the man is different and the water is different. And I completely believe that with performance as well. It's like you have that intent, you have that, what am I doing? Why am I here? And it's good, I think, you can see, like, what Gary Oldman's going through in that film with the desperation and the realizing he might be losing everything, and the fact that he's wired off his nut on different types of chemicals, and
Yeah.
like you say, the lift in his body and how it mixes in with what he says in his voice, and you saw that and you're like, oh, I can unplug that bit, I unplug that bit, I understand that bit, and my coach would be feeling the same things. But of course, as far as we know, he's not on drugs. He's definitely not a police officer, and he's not bringing all the police in. But the motivation is the same. The fear of losing everything, the intensity of wanting to shake this guy and going, we've got to get back on plan here. And that's what I admired so much about what you're doing, that you saw the similarities, but at the same time, it wasn't just a parody or a copy job. You've gone, I can take aspects, but make it my own.
Absolutely. You've put that together very well. Thank you.
That's all right.
Yeah. Because when I read the script, you know, this is a guy who is about to lose everything. His star boxer's just lost, and he's going, that's it, I've had enough, I'm quitting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you quit, I lose everything. I lose my gym, I lose my livelihood.
Yes.
You know, and when I'm trying to talk to you, and all of a sudden you just spot this picture that's fallen on the floor, and you're more interested in that, that's where I saw this has got to be the point now where this intensity's got to come in, because if you're not going to listen to me and you're just going to look at the picture, I have lost.
Yes.
You know, I've lost not just you, but I've lost my gym, I've lost everything. You know, and this is now desperation. So, you know, we are on set practically butting heads, and I'm screaming in your ear. So thanks for taking that, by the way. It was very nice of you.
That's all right. Got another one.
Yeah.
It's a reason I'm wearing headphones now. No, I'm only
Yeah.
joking. No, but I just think for me, it's sort of like, is this why acting spoke to you and you had to decide to pursue it? What was the moment? Because if you don't mind me mentioning as well, you showed me a picture on your phone while we were shooting about a massive change in you physically as well. And I'm always interested in people that go, there's so many people in life that I've met that they fear change, that they get stuck in comfort, even if that comfort isn't really appealing to them. They get stuck in routine. They feel like they can't make any changes anymore. But I'm always very, very interested in people that make a massive change in body or mind or career or perspective, because it's that there was a curiosity that shouted so loud that they had to follow it, and they had the courage to follow it. And I would really, and like, just even seeing the films that you've chosen, it really sort of ties in that these are strong figures in these characters that stand up for what they believe, characters that won't be swayed by other people's opinions, and characters that even are facing overwhelming odds or negativity are still like, you know what, I've got to see this through. This is me being accountable for me. So it all sort of ties into a sort of mindset, and I'd love to hear more about that from you as well. Like, what made you go, okay, this is time to I've got to face up to my own personal Zulus?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up, I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to do it as a kid. And of course, the most powerful influence in my life were my parents, who told me, no, not going to do that. You'll never make it as an actor. You know, all you'll do is be rejected. Go out and get a proper job and do this and do that. And so, of course, I did. You know, and I've had quite a few jobs because I've never been happy in any of them. You know, and I've moved on. I've got lots of different qualifications because I've gone on and learned something else.
Yeah.
But a life-changing event happened to me in 2014. I'd been suffering very badly. My weight had gained. I had thyroid problems, which was the main cause. And I ended up having an operation that saved my life. If I hadn't had it, I'd have died. And I had my thyroid glands completely removed.
Wow.
So I don't have a thyroid gland anymore. I got a lovely scar.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how much you can see. I've got a tiny little box here. I can see.
Yeah, no, I can. It's about there. Yeah, we got it. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then.
And of course, my weight continued to get bigger and bigger. I tried all these silly fad diets, nothing was working. Until what was it, late 2019, a friend of mine who'd seen me struggling and trying to lose weight, they said, this guy at work's tried something new. And okay, you know, he said, yeah, he just followed one simple rule. And I'm like, okay. How many times have I been online and seen, follow this one simple rule?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one step. Yeah.
Click here and give us loads of money, you know, which is normally what it is.
Yeah.
But this one simple rule was, don't eat anything that has more than 30 grams of carbs per 100 grams.
Okay.
Okay. I've tried everything else. I'll give it a go. This was about September 2019 when this happened. I remember going to look in my cupboards and going, yeah, just about everything I had in my cupboard, in my fridge, in my freezer was over 30 grams. Now, I'm not a wasteful person. So we'll call it a diet, but I don't call it a diet. It's more of a change, a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
What I started doing, whenever I went shopping, I was going around, everything I was looking at, I was checking carb content. So I was buying everything under 30 grams. And then over a couple of months, what was in my cupboards naturally went at the same time.
Yeah, I get you, yeah.
So I didn't go cold turkey overnight, right, I'm starting this diet tomorrow. It was a gradual thing. So it was a gradual change in my diet and a gradual change of everything I bought, so until all that stuff went.
And I find as well, like the fact that you're not using the term diet and you're not doing a cold turkey, it's so important because there's no start date and there's no real end date. It's just like you say, it's forever now. And I think that's such an important mindset to have, because when you put an end date on it, people tend to rebound.
Yeah. And this is the thing, it's never been a diet, and it's never been, right, I must reach this weight, right, I must reach that weight. This is just going to live my life.
Brilliant.
You know, and after about 6 months, I noticed a change. I'd lost a fair amount of weight. Now, I'm going to be, can we screen share?
Incredible. Yeah.
Right.
Such a difference. That is like, I remember, yeah, like you sent me a picture and I was just like, I was just like, for anyone to be able to do that, and that's not just, it goes beyond the aesthetic of just like, oh, I'm doing this now. It's life changing, literally life changing. You are life extending, really, is the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
No, incredible work, mate. So yeah, anybody watching it on YouTube, you'll be able to see that. But anybody just listening to it, basically what we can see with the two pictures of Kevin here is a massive drop in weight. But just not just in a sense of, oh, cool. I mean, literally, you can see how someone has managed to completely turn their life around and what they're doing, basically. So incredible job there, mate.
I mean, that is actually a screenshot from a film I was making.
All right.
Because back then it was very, very rare to catch me in a photo.
That's yeah, just amazing work, mate. Right, pop the screen off then, and we can carry on having a chat if that's all right.
Yeah, that's cool.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
Good, there we go. Brilliant, smart, modern technology. Well done, mate. So now was it? So yeah, so did this link into the same sort of time you started acting as well? This massive health change, and or was it sort of like, I've done this, and now this enables me to go on and start you know, like changing other things in my life?
Well, it's kind of a combination. That photograph, that big photograph you see of me, I was doing a filmmaking diploma course, a 1-year course in filmmaking.
Oh, right.
My idea was going to be behind the camera because I was just ashamed of myself. But for seeing that we had, everybody in the course was like, Kev, you're my
Yeah.
dad. You're that guy. You've got to do it. So I ended up having to be it,
Mm,
and that was in March 2018, and I got bigger than that
right.
before I changed. And yeah, as the weight was coming off, I started to like myself again. I
Mm,
felt more confident in myself. And I said, yeah, because I really loved being in front of the camera. It was just who I was,
yeah.
but I didn't love. But now I'm loving myself again. So yeah, that took me to right, that's it. I'm going on a course. I'm going on an acting course, and I'm going for it.
That's incredible, mate. Like I say, just having, I don't know, I don't know exactly, but it just having that sense of going no more, and I need
Yeah,
to, and like you say, getting stuff given to you by your parents or people that you respect and care about, saying, I always love that proper job line because I've heard that myself a few times, but understanding that. Well, what is proper? If you want to live this life and live it the most authentic way you can, you've got to follow your passions. Otherwise, what are you doing it for? So many people get, like I
yeah,
say, get just stuck so much in their life where they're not doing anything they truly want to, but settling for that will do. And I think that's such a shame.
yeah. So I mean, now I can't be in front of the camera enough. When I see somebody taking photos, I want to be there. I want to be, you know. Whereas before, it's like, okay, guys, let's have a group photo.
Yeah,
Uh, you're lucky to see my head peeping around somebody going, yeah, I'm in the photo, but you can't see me properly, but I'm here because, I was just ashamed of myself.
so is that where you want to go? I mean, going forwards, Kevin, what would you like to do? Is it just a case of keep wanting to tell stories? Are there any sort of dream roles you sort of think I'd love to give a crack at, or what's next in your world, mate?
Um, I just like to be good at acting.
That's
Really.
a great.
You know,
Yeah,
if I can be good at what I do, go on screen no matter what character I portray, if people can sit there, watch it and believe it and take it
yeah.
on, then I'm happy that I've told a great story.
Mm,
You know, I remember saying, right at my age, then my first role is I want to be the new Obi-Wan Kenobi because I'm the mentor age.
yeah.
I'm too old to be a hero, but I'm not really too old to be a hero.
I think that's changed quite a lot now. I think, like I
Yeah,
say, new stories are being written, and I think it's sometimes the unlikely hero that raises a lot more interest now. It's like there's only so many stories out there, but there's got to be different variations and different ways on telling them, and I think that's when some things can come up as well.
yeah.
But
So
for you, sorry, go on. Sorry.
no, go on. You can say.
No, I was going to say about the pleasure of performance and inhabiting a new character. And also for me, I was frightened that when I first started getting back into acting and I realized that I was dissecting films sometimes when I got a feeling for something, I thought it was going to make me stop loving it so much because I was just trying to look at how the magician was pulling the wires or whatever, so to speak. But actually it's made me enjoy cinema, or actually going back to see films in the cinema because it's such a bigger screen and such an event. I'm like, I've sort of fallen in love with it all again. There's part of me seeing how it's done, but part of me going, God, this is such a wonderful thing to be passionate about and enjoying. Do you like sort of feel the same like that as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Uh,
For me, it is the passion.
yes. It's
Uh,
fun, right? It's
yeah,
just like to enjoy something so much and be such a fan of it, and then getting that confidence to taking the next step forward and going, I actually want to be involved in it. And this is what I saw. You said even before you were like unsure about stepping in front of the camera, you still were like pushing yourself in that direction, going, look, I've tried all these other jobs. None of this is me. It's not fulfilling who I am and who I should be in this world. And you stepped towards it. And then through other changes as well, you've enabled yourself to do what I believe sounds like you truly wanted to do, which was be in front of the camera as well and play all these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm learning so much as
Yeah.
well.
And surely that's part of the thing as well, right? Being involved in something not only you're passionate about, but you get constant lessons and constant ways to renew yourself and stuff as
Yeah,
well, and like learning different characters and different motivations and stuff.
yeah. I mean, I remember when I was on the writing course, and they said what to do with characters who aren't doing anything.
Mm,
And it's something I've always remembered as I started acting, because he showed us this really good scene of a family group in a car. You got the dad driving,
yeah,
and that his only job is to drive the car, whilst the mum is dealing with the kids messing about in the back seat.
right.
And clearly, the dad just didn't know what to do.
Hang about, mate. Give me 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Hang about. Sorry, hang on. My bad. That never happens. Sorry about that. Go on, then. Sorry. Right. So you were saying, sorry, about like being
Yeah,
yeah, gone.
the actor who's got nothing to do, knowing what to do,
Yes.
you know. And it's something I look for now, on especially on TV programs where there's many characters in a room. And I quite often find myself watching what the characters who aren't speaking are actually doing and how
Yes.
they're behaving, you know. And to me, again, that's a very, very good lesson of knowing how to do nothing in a scene. And one of the best, I'm trying to think of the name of the film, it's with Robert De Niro. He plays a priest.
Oh,
Uh,
sleepers.
that's the one,
I'm
Sleepers.
I, I'm weirdly about that I can get films really quickly. Like, yeah, yeah, good
Yeah,
film.
as the one guy is telling him the story, he's narrating the story, and every now and again we cut back to the scene with Robert De Niro, the guy, and I think it's Minnie Driver in the room.
Yeah,
There's only one person talking, and that's the guy telling the story. And if you look at the intensity and the concentration on Robert De Niro as he's just listening to a story, you're thinking, yeah, that's how to do it. This is
yeah,
why those paid the big bucks.
yeah, yeah,
No, he's fully engrossed. He's probably heard him say this same piece of dialogue 50 times and read it and understands it himself.
yes.
But he is there or listening and behaving exact right way, exact right word every time. You know.
I think for me that is the most the piece of authenticity that
Yeah.
really that makes a great performance for me, that it looks like they're hearing it for the first time and they're
Yeah.
reacting authentically. It's not okay, it's slightly heightened because we're watching it usually on a bigger screen and there might be music playing in the background, but there's something that's being displayed in that reaction or emotion that completely
Yeah.
it hits you and you can identify with it.
Yeah. I mean, and he is totally secondary to the scene.
Yes.
You know, but the focus of the scene is the guy telling the story. But he's given everything to that scene.
Yes.
You know, and I do remember going off on another tangent here. When I was at acting school, we were told about the scene with him and Martin Scorsese in the taxi.
Oh yeah, Taxi Driver. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know how true the full story is, but we were told that the actor who was meant to have gone and got into the taxi hadn't turned up.
Ah.
Scorsese says, it's a nothing role, it's just a line. I'll just jump in and do it so we can carry on filming.
Wow.
So he's got into the taxi, given the line, Robert De Niro said this.
Mm.
Okay, so he gave the line again. De Niro's like this.
He's not moving, yeah.
And he's gone, Bob, didn't you hear me, mate? I gave a line. And he went, now this is a guy doing his second ever movie. And he said, I'll respond to you when I believe you.
Wow. Incredible. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely powerful. I'll respond to you when I believe you. You know, and he then turned around and gave the director an acting lesson. Scorsese said he learned something very, very valuable that day about acting.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
It just, I remember, I mean, Taxi Driver's one that I'm sure will come up sooner or later. Maybe if we do another podcast, we can chat about that again. But yeah, that scene alone, again, it even ties back into what we said about Big Country and Zulu and stuff as well, is even in Taxi Driver, and that could be, like you say, a throwaway scene, a throwaway line, but the way De Niro interpreted it and made Scorsese give that performance, there is nothing throwaway. Everything in every performance should mean something. It should have a place. And I think for me in art, never ever settle for that'll do. Never ever settle for like, oh, you know, that's it. Yeah, now we'll do from every part of it, from the editing, the sound design, focus, whatever. If everything should be for a reason, because then it makes the art like transcend itself without getting too pretentious, because everything means something.
Yeah, and you know, that's the way I want to be as an actor.
Yeah.
That to me is inspiring. That's why I said that's what I brought from Gary Oldman to our scene.
Mm.
And it's
Well,
my, but I had to feel myself, this is an important moment of the scene.
yes.
You know, I need to really bring that home.
And for me as well, no matter how many times I hear a line or whatever, taken in case in point, that one, when I was looking at the photo, I'm not just thinking, okay, now I'm going to look at a photo. I'm actually thinking about, I'm looking at that photo for the first time every time. I am dealing with the fact that I didn't really have a concussion, but dealing with the fact I've got a concussion, hearing you screaming at me, but partly just drowning you out and partly being a bit lost in the haze of a concussion, but having all these things playing in my head at the same time as sort of delivering the scene, you know, and that, again, all of these moving parts, almost like juggling. That's what I love about it. There's so much going on, but you're just in the moment of it, and you're completely being in the moment of it as well. It doesn't matter what happens before or after. We're just in it, and they've said action, and we're doing the work, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, I mean that was one thing. I mean, how many days shoot was that for you?
3 day shoot for me.
I thought you'd done more than that.
It's all the concussions, mate. It was either 3 or 4. I believe it was 3 with 1 day off, but it could have been 4. How many days? We were together for 2, right?
We were
Then
together
I
for 2
lied.
days.
Then it was 4. Sorry, mate. There we go. Age catching up with me.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Had you been shooting the day before?
No, I turned up on the same day, so we did the 2 days together, and then I did 1 day off, then 2 days after. That's right.
Right. Okay. Because for me on set, I love a relaxed and happy set.
Yes, 100%.
You know, and as soon as I met with you, we just clicked straight off. You know, and it was the same with young James.
Yeah, awesome.
I nearly called him Tom then, but
still in method. So James, I'll hopefully get him on the podcast at some point, but he was basically playing my son and a tremendous performer as well. Amazing actor.
absolutely.
We all clicked really quickly, considering it was quite an intense scene. We all had the right levels, and we were all reacting off each other and listening to each other, which is so important for me.
Absolutely. As you were sat getting your makeup done, in reality, guys, I was beating him up. but
allegedly, we'll have to worry about the insurance.
yeah. Yeah, as we were going through lines and getting to know each other, it just everything just gelled really nicely.
Yeah,
So that once we got on set, we were ready.
yeah,
All
exactly.
three of us, you know, and we had an absolute blast.
It was great, and I just think for me, it's sort of like knowing that you can show up and you never know until you get out there, really. But when you're
Yeah,
collaborating with people and they're very giving, and you in turn can give to them, and it's reciprocated, that's what, honestly, that's why as soon as we were doing those scenes, it was like, this is why I made the career change as well, to get back into this, to get this feeling of just, even though some of the situations we can be in might not exactly be joyous, the actual feeling of acting and portraying is such a buzz for me. It was like, oh, this is why I do what I do. So thank
yeah.
you so much for those moments, Kevin. They were some of my highlights of my year. Thank you.
Oh, I've got to say the same thing to you. You've beat me to the punch on this one.
Well, listen, mate, we're at about the hour, and like I say, I like keeping these on for about an hour for YouTube and stuff as well. Otherwise, it gets weird and you have to start chopping videos up. So I would say thank you. We didn't get round to the third film, but that's why I always say have too much preparation and then have not enough time to fit it all in, and not have enough,
Yeah,
and then we'll be dragging. So I can always get you back on again. And to be honest, I would love to get you back on again. Thanks for the film choices, because they're absolute bangers. So first of all, Big Country and Zulu, and maybe a bit of Leon as well. And thank you for sharing your personal story as well. This is exactly the sort of thing I want to get across in this podcast. It's not just a film review podcast. We're actually talking about what motivates and drives people and their ability to create change and stuff. So I really thank you for being so honest and open as well. It really means the world to me, mate.
that's cool. Thank you so much. It's been great being here and talking to you.
So finally, is there anywhere where people can follow you, or you want people to follow you? Is there anything that people should look out for, or
Well,
check you out on?
I'm on Instagram, so follow me on Instagram, Kevin Allam 66. 66 was the year I was born.
I'll put it in the show notes as well. Cool.
Yeah. Or we can just say 66 because that's the year we won the World Cup. As I'm from
Great one. No, no.
uh,
Well, I appreciate it, mate. Well, like I say, thank you so much for this, and I'll be in contact soon. And yeah, until the next one, enjoy the movies, and I'll be seeing you soon, mate. All right.
all right, that's brilliant. Cheers, Phil.
Take the best. Bye now. Thank you.
Bye bye.